What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Obsession. I'm Carl Bethany.
I'm Mike Stadler.
Hey, thanks for listening today. We got a couple questions. We're going to actually run through two of them today. People asked us, Mike, it says, what do you guys think of broadheads, fixed and expandables, one versus the other, advantages and disadvantages of each? And then we're going to go to what do you guys think is the perfect hunting arrow setup? 3 vanes, 4 vanes, forward to center, lighted nocks, that type of stuff. Okay, well this one I'm sure we're gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, Mike.
Ruffling them up.
We're gonna lay it right out.
Get them out there.
Here it is. We don't shoot expandable junk.
Alright, so then going to the arrows.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm not an advocate of expandables. First, I'm going to tell you my background. Mechanical engineer. Worked with Rocky Mountain Broadheads, which a lot of you might know, which was bought by a company called Ferrandine, and they make the Rage Broadhead. Okay, so the first, what everybody knows as the Rage, was called the Sniper, made by Rocky Mountain. 33.3 degree blade angle, something like that. Inch and not even an inch and a half cut. Cut on contact, long ferruled aluminum ferrule, 100 grains, rubber band holding it together. Blade angle was correct. We did a ton of testing with it. Tested on pigs and all that, shoot through shoulders, all that testing. Found that it basically took like 38 foot-pounds kinetic energy to open up that broadhead. And I shot my first elk with that. The 5x5 in the office there, shot with that broadhead. I know Bruce Berry shot quite a few elk with that broadhead. That being said, expandables to me, just too much going on. If something's gonna go wrong because there's a lot of motion and stuff involved, I don't want it on my setup. Okay? That's just me. Expandables, a lot of people like expandables because they say they fly like they're field points. Mike, I believe a fixed broadhead will fly like your field point if your bow is tuned correct.
Pretty correct.
Correct!
Tell him what he's won.
A werewolf!
Yeah, a werewolf.
Get you a werewolf.
Yeah, I have never been a fan of mechanicals. I've seen them fail.
Mm-hmm.
I've filmed with people where they failed. I watched one whiz at looked like a football over top of a mule deer's head once. I think Carl remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
I think his bow got thrown on that one.
Yeah.
I believe it got thrown.
I wasn't happy.
I've always shot a fixed blade. I shoot a relatively inexpensive, simple Thunderhead.
Yep. That's Thunderhead.
I love them. I've always loved them. I've always shot them. 125 grain Thunderhead. 3 blade fixed. I'm a big advocate of them. I hunted Canada. The guy that we had bear guiding us, and Phil was with us, with me.
Yep.
So he'll like that I said his name there. And the first question he asked us when we got there, what kind of broadheads do you shoot? First question.
Oh yeah.
And I said, I shoot a fixed blade Thunderhead, and he's like, nice. He's like, what do you shoot, Phil? He's like, I shoot Rage Expandable. He's like, that thing is junk.
Junk.
Right out of his mouth. And he grew up there. He's like, you won't kill a bear with it. Needless to say, long story short, second night, Phil shot a bear in the shoulder. You ain't killing a bear in the shoulder probably anyway.
Right.
You sure as hell ain't killing it with an expandable.
Right. That's a fact.
Yes, I've always been a less is more guy.
Yeah.
The less that can go wrong, and I've said this on other podcasts, that's what I want then.
Right.
I don't want any more variables. I don't need any help screwing things up.
Yeah, I do
it on my own.
Do it my own.
So that's, and you're gonna watch every TV show out there.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
They're gonna talk about expandables.
Shoot the Raid in the cage, Carl.
Yeah, not
Get it in there.
No. Well,
how many holes does a Raid in the cage make in a deer? I'm gonna throw out, 'cause I don't know.
Usually one.
One.
I'm not gonna say that they all do that, But I'm an advocate of 2 holes, Mike. 1 in, 1 out.
2 holes is better.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, well, we can go a lot of ways with that.
Yeah, we'll stop at that one, but yeah, I like an exit
Yeah.
hole on there.
You know, I can honestly say, and I will not argue with people about huge inside, huge hole in the side of an animal with a expandable broadhead. I get it. Okay, and we could talk that all day, all you want, but if the blood of the animal's filling up the chest cavity and it runs easily, a deer can cover 100 yards in a very short period of time when you put an arrow in it.
Sure.
It makes your blood trails a little harder to find. Not that you won't find the deer. Expandables to me, there is no argument, and I don't care who you are, there's no argument to me when you start saying, well, my expandables fly like a field point and my fixed blades don't. Well, that's because your bow's not tuned worth of shit. Okay?
I'll tell you something too that I know you've seen and I've seen with expandables. I've seen people take quartering away shots.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen expandables hit ribs and go slide up the side of the animal.
Oh yeah.
And not penetrate.
All the way up the side of the
all the way up the
ribcage.
side of the animal, not do anything.
Yep. Yeah.
You will not have that.
Yeah.
With a fixed blade, it's going in.
Well, we seen that down in Missouri. That
Yes.
buckeye had to shoot.
Yep.
Because he
And
was
a waste.
Yeah.
Rotten.
Yep.
He was rotting walking because of a shot like that.
Yeah. The person who shot at him took a bad shot anyway, but then his equipment did not help that situation at all anyhow. So that's a pretty big deal. Disadvantages like we were talking about, anything that has to have or create motion to accomplish the job is an issue with me. Keep it simple, stupid is the way to go about doing a lot of that.
Kiss, baby.
Kiss, that's a fact.
Yeah, I'll say another.
The other thing about expandables that are bad, so just the mechanical engineering part of things, a shorter ferrule is more productive than a long ferrule. And there's not a mechanical out there there aren't very many, there's very few that have a very short ferrule. So a longer ferrule, you get ferrule flex when it hits bone. And if you get ferrule flex when you hit bone, depending on how thick the bone is or whatever, you can lose all of your kinetic energy and you have no penetration. If I'd have shot Shocker this year with a fixed blade, or if I would have shot with an expandable, I wouldn't have got him. I shot him with my fixed blade, which was a QAD Exodus, a very short ferrule, very thick blades, a 40 thousandths blade on them. And that's the reason I do that, is ferrule flex. Mike shoots the Thunderhead, tried and true, the best designed broadhead ever. Otherwise, it wouldn't still be on the market like it is. I mean, been shooting those things. Those things were out when I started, so that's
And I've shot everything on
30 plus years ago.
Whitetail, mule deer, antelope,
Bear,
elk, bear,
everything. Yeah.
the wall,
The wall.
mist, the wall.
We both, rocks.
Rocks,
Dirt.
trees. I got one in a tree. We're pretty proud of. Carl's with me.
Yeah.
I killed the hell out of that tree.
Yeah, you couldn't hit it more center than
The
that.
broadhead ain't come out.
No.
I'll tell you that. It's in there.
It's still there.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll go to for arrow setups now for the second part of the question. Mike and I actually shoot the same arrow, so we do shoot Black Eagle arrows. They've been with us since we started back when we were doing TV. So Black Eagle arrows. We shoot a Rampage, which is a 204 thousandths diameter arrow. It's not their thin line stuff. I used to shoot X Impacts, which was a 188. We used to shoot Carnivore, which is a regular standard size basic arrow for everybody, but a little bit lighter. We went to the Rampages. We run a stainless steel insert-outsert deal from their factory design, so it runs an inch into the 204 shaft, and it sticks about 5/8 of an inch out the front. It's stainless steel. And that's what our regular sized broadhead screws into, so we're not using like a deep 6 or something like that, so you've got more girth on your broadhead. Also, we both shoot 125 grain fixed blades on the front side of our arrows, and our arrows are weighing approximately 500 to 525 grams. Or grains, sorry, not grams. I'm thinking work again. Woo! Anyhow, and we both shoot four fletchings on the tails. Reason for that is when we're out mule deer hunting, what happens with a 3 fletch, which we've tested out, you get about 75 or 80 yards. The deceleration, the arrow destabilizes the arrow in flight, and you start to get inconsistencies on location and accuracy at those yardages, where we want to be accurate out to 110, 120 yards. Not that we want to shoot that far, or we're going to, but we definitely want to have be able to if we had to.
Yeah, I'll also say one touch on that broadhead quick too, since you got the distances. Expandable broadheads at distances don't fly like you think they're going to.
Oh no.
Great shot too, Mike.
Flies 100% more true.
It seems to be more consistent.
Yeah, and we've done it, so you can argue with us if you want.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm sure there's going to be arguments.
Oh yeah.
I have lots of friends that shoot expandables.
Yeah.
And I won't.
Mm-hmm.
But we go out west. We shoot long distances.
Mm-hmm.
We practice long distances. We shoot what we hunt with. So we don't shoot field points.
Right.
Except if we're going to shoot at a foam target shooting league.
Right.
Otherwise, we don't shoot them at all.
Yeah. In the summer, when we're shooting summer league together, when we're out shooting, we're shooting broadhead league. We don't shoot 3D league or anything like that. Now we might go to a tournament or two, but we're usually shooting a different bow or something.
Yeah.
But we want to shoot our hunting equipment as much as possible throughout the entire year, so when you get that one chance, that 5 seconds of fame, you can do what you need to do.
Right.
You know, if you shoot your comp bow all year with long stabilizers and a big scope and all that other crap, plus 3D targets promote the wrong goddamn aiming reference anyway. But anyway, if you're shooting your 3D equipment all year at 55 and 60 pounds, and now all of a sudden you're hunting with a 70-pound bow, things change a little bit. And the older you get, if you don't condition for it, you'll notice it even more. So that's the big point there too. Is shoot your hunting equipment.
The 3 veins we shot for years.
Yeah.
You know, when we went to the 4 veins here.
Butt head mute here.
3 or 4 years ago.
We're hoping.
I've had people make fun of me and tell me that I couldn't shoot my bow. That's why I had to have 4 veins. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Do some testing.
Nice job.
Well, yeah.
They fly better.
Nice job.
Yeah.
That's a good
You know, it is what it is.
It's gonna come down, you know, for us, testing is everything, you know, and we test everything. I'm big into testing everything. We wouldn't do it unless there was an advantage to it. I'll tell you that right now. Now, depending on which configuration of broadhead you're shooting, you may not need 4 veins, but you have to test that out. Or which vein configuration you're shooting. We've shot different vein configuration. We shot blazers, and we had Vein Tech was one of our sponsors. Yeah. So
I shot feathers.
Oh yeah, well I shot feathers.
Well, I like feathers.
Me too.
They're just not durable.
Yeah, you can't go.
You know, they don't stand up.
A plastic vein takes out the variable. Again, getting rid of variables.
Yep. Less is more.
Less is more. That's right. When it comes to my hunting situation, I need it to be simple.
If you're buying arrows at Fleet Farm, you might want to
Good luck.
tune out because
Yeah, just go someplace else because I don't want to talk to you.
yeah.
It's just say, I'm gonna throw it right out for you.
You know, and I had a friend of mine who bought a brand new bow.
Yeah.
Bought the same bow that Carl and I shoot, so the PSE Mach 1. Phenomenal bow.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you shoot, a lot of good bows out there.
Yeah.
And wanted to use some of the arrows that he had from this other. There's a piece of trash, I call it to him. He hates it that I do, but I.
What was it, Bowtech?
Correct.
Okay.
And I said, dude, you need to get some arrows for that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's like, well, you know, I'm like, I said, it's like, I said, I put it to him this way. I said, it's like getting on your bike with ball tires.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of looks at me. I said, dude, your arrow is everything
Mm-hmm.
in that bow. You have a $1 million bow set up to the hilt. You know, are you going to shoot a wooden arrow through it?
Once.
One time, the rest of it's going to take out of your arm.
Pretty much.
You know, I mean, you're only as good as the finished product that's coming out of that thing. You know, you got to shoot a good arrow. And I'm not saying you have to shoot a Black Eagle,
Right.
but we do. We love them. They're great arrows. There's
Yeah.
a lot of good arrows. There's a lot of good bows, but you need to have your setup right. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to get in touch with somebody that does.
Yeah, you have to tune your arrow to your bow. There's a lot involved in it, and you can argue many different variables on it. For a fixed blade head, and this is what I do for myself, for Mike, and all of my customers. Fixed blade head, I always overspine the shaft. Why? Because your arrow oscillates coming out of the bow. There's a ton of math we can get into, and we can debate this all day, but I'm telling you right now, if you shoot a fixed blade broadhead, you don't overspine your arrow, you're going to have flight issues downrange with your arrow.
We've also changed the helicals of our vanes.
Oh yeah, well that's the other thing too. That arrows are launched out of a bow. Some bows will launch an arrow with a spin to the left, and some bows will launch an arrow spin to the right based off of how the string is built. Pretty cool, right? Well, you have helical and you have offset, and you can have both at the same time, and this helps downrange accuracy also. And you can also have too much helical and too much offset to cause downrange issues too, parachuting and issues like that. So that all gets into play there. Big forward to center. I like a big forward to center. I want heavy nose weight, because it's proven time and time again that once you penetrate into the animal with a bigger forward center, and everybody's going to talk about momentum, Mike, because that's what they want to talk about nowadays. We can talk about momentum, and we can talk about kinetic energy and this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to tell you, after 30 years of experience in dealing with this, I think the ultimate whitetail or big game in North America arrow and bow combination is about 280 to 290 feet per second, with a 475 to 525 grain arrow with a fixed blade on it. That's it. That's what I think is probably the ultimate setup for North American game.
Agreed.
So, and this is after testing and talking with a lot of people that probably know a lot more than I do about it, to actually spend their lives doing it. That's what I think comes down to. You don't have to go fast to kill deer.
No.
But you better have a quiet low.
I'll tell you this, and I tell everybody this, and this is 100% fact. You can Google it if you want.
Mm-hmm.
If your bow is slower than 710 feet per second, a deer can duck it or jump it.
Oh yeah.
So I don't care if your bow shoots 350 feet per second.
No.
Every bow out there will advertise 330 to 350.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to shoot that with a hunting setup.
No.
Your average bow is going to be around that 300. Is a pretty fast bow.
That's a real fast bow.
You know, that's about where you're at normally if you're lucky. Most bows are shooting way under that.
Oh yeah.
270.
Yeah.
You
270, 250.
You know, and I mean, people are like, "Oh, what? That thing's a slow piece of shit." No, it's not.
Here's the other thing too. If you don't have a 29, 30, 31 inch draw length, you're not going to get speed out of your bow.
No.
I don't care if you shoot 80 pound. Poundage is not.
No.
Poundage is not speed. Just so you all know, poundage is not speed. Draw length is speed.
Yep.
My kid, he's got a 30, almost a 32. Basically, he shoots full length arrow. You know, my son's 6'4". Got a wingspan of like Michael Phelps. And that kid could shoot, I think his bow set at like 55 pounds. And he's shooting, what is it? It's a 400 spine arrow with 125 grain. It's a carnivore with 125 grain nose and 4 vanes. And that bow shoots 310 feet per second. Because of his draw length, he's got that big, long power
Long
stroke.
stride, basically.
Yeah.
What
And it's a fairly light arrow. That arrow's
it is a little lighter than
it's lighter than ours.
what we shoot.
I want to say it's like a 430 some grain arrow or something. But you know, he can get away with more weight and it goes slower.
Mm-hmm.
But that bow's quiet the way it is, and he just whitetail hunts
Yeah.
when he gets the opportunity when he's not working. So
Yeah, it's all, you know, I relate this back to what I do for a living. I'm a mechanic, have been forever, motorcycle and auto, and I do a lot of motorcycle stuff, and everybody else go fast.
oh yeah.
And we both done this on the auto side forever too, and you can buy the best of everything and put it together and be slower than hell.
Oh yeah.
And have stuff not work. It does not matter. Your combinations have to fit together. The same with an engine as with a bow.
Yep.
It's no different.
That's a great analogy.
You have to spend money to figure out what works. It's an expensive sport, but once you get it figured out and you figure out what you're shooting and what you're shooting out of it and it works, it's going to work.
You want a hunting bow, just stay accurate. I don't care how fast it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And I want it quiet.
Yeah.
I want my bow to go off, and with the deer, when my bow goes off at a 60-yard mule deer, I don't want him to move.
Yep.
I just want him to stand there and take it.
Yeah, take it and get in the truck.
Yeah, that's it.
It's true, and I'm never gonna sit there and that guy's gonna talk to you about grains per inch and and that, because I don't know it, but I'll shoot every different thing possible to find combinations right. Kyle's a lot better at the math of that and setting stuff up. I've always been the big advocate of the broadhead.
Yep.
Stuff like that, but yeah, you gotta test stuff, set it up.
Right.
And do it with what you're gonna hunt with. If you wanna hunt, then hunt. If you wanna shoot targets, shoot targets.
Oh yeah.
But your bow setup is different.
Yeah, I'm not gonna shoot a PS27 or PS26 Black Eagle comp arrow and go hunt. Not that you couldn't, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
Yeah, it's not gonna be so good. But yeah, it's pretty simple. That's kind of how we feel about it. Use fixed blade broadheads. Expandables are too many variables, too much of a chance for something to go wrong.
How about lighted knocks?
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't bring a lot of the lighted knocks. I'll be honest with you. When we started, lighted knocks are great for filming, right?
Yes.
Everybody, because then you can trace it and whatever, and it's great for your video stuff because then you can kind of see where you hit the animal a little bit better or whatever. If you make the right archery shot, paying attention to what you're doing while you're hunting, you're going to see where you hit anyway. And the number one thing is with a pass through, which you could get with an with a fixed blade broadhead, you're going to find your arrow on the other side. Look at the blood, and then you can make that decision.
Yep.
Lighted knock wise, I found that I haven't found one out of all the companies that make them that are consistent enough for me to be wanting to shoot them out at longer yardages. We worked for one company 1 year, and of course I was getting them for free, okay? And I went through 3 dozen knocks to get 12 that flew consistent at 100 yards. You remember that?
Yeah, I had a hell of a time that 1 year before we were going out west.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And it was my knocks.
Yeah.
I changed my knocks back over to regular knocks.
Yeah.
It was, pound attacks.
Yeah.
They just don't shoot well at yardage.
Right. I honestly, my hunting arrows have a white knock on them anymore.
They shoot
White
great
knock.
30 yards and in.
Oh yeah.
You shoot a light knock all day.
Yeah.
Or 40 yards even. They're pretty good.
Whitetail hunt.
But, yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, I won't go out west with a lighted knock. But so that's kind of how we feel about lighted knocks. Also, how we feel about broadheads, expandables versus fixed blades. We can always debate if you guys want to do the debate on fixed blades and expandables. I'm really not that interested. I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it, and that's it.
You sure?
Yeah, 100% sure. But the arrow stuff, make your bow quiet. You'll get more animals with a quiet bow that's moving slower than you will with a high-speed bow that snaps. You remember when we shot for Obsession, we shot those nightmares?
Yes.
They were fast as shit.
The fastest bow I've ever shot.
But they were loud, like a gun going off.
They were.
I got video of you missing that one buck. He ducked your arrow at 12 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And that deer transitioned 14 inches.
Yep. Yeah, they can react. Like I said, it's 7-10.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's why they don't duck a gun.
No, that's the only reason they don't duck a gun.
They're way faster than you think.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, accuracy is the key.
Yep.
Combinations are the key. And that broadhead, arrow, veins, knocks all have to work together.
100%.
You're buying an arrow from Flea Farm.
Or Cabela's.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
But you really need to get to an archery shop or a pro shop that knows how that setup works.
Yep.
And it costs money.
Yeah, custom arrows are expensive.
Hundreds and hundreds of arrows
Yeah.
over there
Yep.
that I used to shoot or shot and didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is now. They can sit there, they're cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll shoot them in something else someday, I don't know. But right now they don't work for me.
That's about it.
So it is what it is. You know?
Yeah, well, we're gonna probably call that one a
Yep.
show. So, thanks for listening to the Obsession. We'll get with you guys next Saturday where we got another question, thoughts on how the cost of things will affect the hunting industry now and in the future. So that'll be an interesting discussion, quick. Everything going up, I'm sure we've got our own views on that for everybody. So we'll talk about that and what we're seeing in the industry on pricing. Thanks for listening this week. Remember to check it out on Rush Outdoors Wisconsin on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and keep sending us your questions. We appreciate all the stuff that you guys do for us. And check us out next Saturday. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.